Hey guys, Steve here from dudehack.com. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not Tinder relationships can last. So today we are talking about whether or not Tinder relationships can last. And well, this is a question I get all the damn time. People do have a certain connotation or a stigma when it does come to online dating and apps like Tinder specifically. When Tinder is mentioned or used in pop culture, generally a lot of people are looking at it as being a hookup app. I mean, when it did start in 2012, it did seem to start out like that. That if you were jumping on Tinder, you were ready for something raunchy. Now, these days, it does seem like things have changed a little bit. But one thing to note is that since more dating apps have emerged since Tinder's popularity, it has sort of drifted itself a little bit into that online dating hookup territory. But with that being said, I feel like I constantly need to burst people's perceptions of what Tinder actually is, because no, it is not just a hookup app these days. In fact, it's never been just a hookup app. This is something I struggle with all the time. Someone will come to me and ask me why they just can't get anybody on Tinder. And when I read their messages or have a look at their approach, it's obvious that they think that the first person that starts talking to them is going to want to take their clothes off. Tinder is not like that, nor has it ever been like that. Just like the real world, just like any other dating app, you do need to make a connection with someone and have that mutual attraction before that's something that's even considered. So before we move on with this video, let me just make it very, very clear that no, Tinder is not just a hookup app. But getting on to the main question while you're here. Tinder relationships, can they last? So maybe you did initially set out to seek something a little more casual. Maybe the person you matched with did as well. But now you're at the point where you want to keep spending every second together and well, you're dating. So you might now be wondering, can that relationship last? Or the fact that it did start on this sort of fickle dating app, is it doomed to fail? Well, the good news there is if your heart is intent on that person, that Tinder relationships by all means can definitely last. And the reason I can say that quite confidently is there actually is quite a few statistics and data out there that does point to quite a few long-term relationships having started on Tinder. And I mean, just look at the culture around this app these days. A lot of people use this in almost every single country in the world. So you can imagine that it's bound to create some online love. For example, a study done in 2019 by a company called The Knot revealed that Tinder is responsible for 26% of all marriages that started online in 2019. So in this digital age where lots of people are meeting online, 26% is massive. In fact, it's actually the one that is most responsible for marriages starting. Just think about that for a second. Tinder is responsible for more marriages than something like eHarmony. But, and this is a big but, a big caveat, Tinder has many, many, many more users. So to answer the main question, is Tinder a place that a relationship can last? Yes. Is it the best place to find a long-term relationship? In my opinion, no. Yes, even though it is responsible for that huge amount of marriages starting online. So when you do just look at the sheer numbers of people on Tinder and you compare that to other dating sites, especially ones that maybe are focusing on finding a long-term relationship, you can imagine there are a lot more people seeking something casual than those apps. So if you're somebody who's seeking out a long-term relationship and you're wondering the best way to go, I do not at all think Tinder is the way to go about it. And on that note, if that is you, then you should go ahead and take my free quiz over at dudehack.com, which does tell you exactly what dating app would suit you better. I'll put a link just down in the description below. But if you are somebody that is currently in a relationship that did start from Tinder and you're worried if it's destined to fail, no, you can take a big sigh of relief knowing that a lot of people are getting married, having babies, starting families from meeting on that little swiping app. So you can too. So guys, out of those 55 billion swipes that have happened on Tinder since its inception, there's bound to be some people that do get married. There's bound to be some people that their relationships don't last as well. But the good news is you know that it isn't 100% destined to fail and you can find somebody long-term on Tinder. Now look, if you are watching this video purely to find that dating app or site that is best for a relationship, I highly suggest that you do watch my video on the 7 best dating apps for a serious relationship. Or you can just go ahead and take my free quiz, which will tell you what dating app would suit your personality best. Remember, that is just down in the description below. If you are wanting more content around Tinder and all other dating apps and sites, then I highly suggest that you do subscribe. And if you did like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It makes a huge difference. But until next time, guys, stay safe, be well, and I'll see you later.